What is up, everybody? Welcome to Truth and Transparency Sunday night. I got a quick little 30-minute live. Want to give you guys the bombs heading into tomorrow's court date. We got a court with big old Bev. Again, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Karen Reed Breakdown. We're going to start and get right to it here. Right here, what you guys are looking at is a true, inaccurate representation of Alan Jackson's affidavit. It's hard to get it. But you know what? Your girl got it. So we're taking it right from the straight from the facts. This is under the penalty of perjury, I, Alan Jackson. So his words, not mine, straight from his affidavit. Want to show you guys something. This is what you guys can expect to see the fireworks on. This needs to start going viral. And what it is that needs to go viral is that Alan Jackson made such a big point during his cross-examination of Good when he said, you submitted this report and you changed the cover page. You changed the photo that went with your report. It was, you could see like the curb, and then that got changed. So it was the curb. And the curb was when they were talking about the fact that they took their little feet and they like took the snow and they brushed it off with their boots with the fur. Well, guess what? The reason they switched that, in my humble personal opinion, they had to switch it because guess what? They then planted the shoe in the spot where the curb was bare, and then they just caked it with some snow because that shoe was in a motherfucking house, right? So they had to take that shoe and plant that shoe, right? John only had one shoe on him. But the biggest part, and it makes sense, and you really have to think about this, is that they had to take that picture off the cover of Good's report, the Canton report, because if he left it on there and then later they examined the pictures that we all examined, then you're going to see that, oh, wait, snap. That picture didn't have a shoe and now it has a shoe. Okay. So that's the biggest part. Like, boom. You guys know that curb picture. Okay. That's why they took it off the Canton report, period. Now, so that's the big boom there that everybody needs to understand. Now everyone's going to say, Lana, but those are two different shoes. You guys, they're not. Tomorrow's episode of the trial, right before we start, I'm going to show you guys why they're not. But I'm not going to do that tonight because I have other things that we have to focus on. I promise you, both of those shoes are white soles. I promise. Hands down, white soles. Like, take it to the bank. Now, I want us to look at this. This is the nuts. Right here, John's phone. I've been saying, when are we going to talk about John's phone? All right. When are we going to talk about John's phone? And we're going to talk about it right here. As set forth in Trooper Guerno's February 4th, 2022 report, which is attached here to as Exhibit H, which I have, Trooper Proctor took possession of O'Keefe's cellular phone on January 29, 2022. How? This is why they dismissed Carrie Roberts. This is the number one reason they said, no, we don't have any questions at this time. You bet your bottom dollar they're recalling her. We have no questions at this time. Carrie Roberts testified and said that she took the phone, that it was underneath John and it was up around his shoulder area, and that she took the phone and put it in her pocket. Okay. This is where Carrie Roberts got herself so knee deep in it when she decided to say this shit. All right. when she decided to say this part of it, Carrie Roberts says that she saw his phone and that she picked it up and that she put it in her pocket. And then later, at some point, she gave it to, I don't know, one of like the, she said, I don't know, the police, a firefighter. I don't remember. I don't know who I gave it to, but I gave it to somebody. Let me tell you a little something. Carrie Roberts, how does Michael Proctor get it? How does Michael Proctor get John O'Keefe's cell phone that day? He wasn't at the scene, okay? You didn't meet with him in person on the 29th. So how does Trooper Proctor get John O'Keefe's cell phone? You guys following? So again, Carrie Roberts was not at, allegedly based off of their testimonies, Jen McCabe's testimony, Carrie Roberts' testimony. She was not at the McCabe residence on the 29th. And in fact, she did her, everything that she went ahead and whoever she spoke to was all over the phone. Everything was over the phone. So now are we going to have to like run this back, play this back to understand that, wait a second, how does Trooper Proctor Trooper Proctor took possession of John O'Keefe's cell phone on January 29, 2022. Well, you guys, I cannot wait for this testimony because it's coming. This testimony is coming. You guys can say, she gave it to Jen, who gave it to Proctor. Kimberly, I don't think so. She never gave it to Jen, who gave it to anybody, because we have to account for all of these steps that his phone is taking, and I can promise you that Carrie Roberts isn't taking them. Carrie Roberts took no steps. She wasn't running around everywhere. She didn't go inside at the Fairview home and go up a flight of stairs. John O'Keefe's phone makes a flight of stairs at a very crucial point. A very crucial point, which, guess what? Lana, are you the coffer in the courtroom? I wish I was the coffer in the court because I would know when to do it. Again, Carrie Roberts is not the person who had that phone. In order for Carrie Roberts to have ever at any point had that phone, then Carrie Roberts would have had to have found it at 6:03, at 6:04, right when she says that she begins CPR. And that's not when she said she found it. Carrie Roberts says that she goes and takes life-saving measures on John, okay? And it wasn't until after that they pick him off the ground that then she grabs it. And that's a lie. So right there, that's your number one that you can know that she's lying, is because Jen McCabe's phone steps and John's steps based off of their phones, they start moving at the same almost time. Jen has a little bit of a head start because obviously she starts walking from the car. All right. Then Jen goes inside. And when she went inside, she first off, the phone gets passed. In my humble opinion here, the reason why 3 out of the 4 Canton police officers say that they only saw 2 people standing over the body and not 3 is because after Jen McCabe called 911, she went running on over to hand the phone off to none other than Coco, who she called at 6:08. And when she wants to act like I didn't call, I never talked to her, blah blah blah, whatever. I don't give a rat's ass. The data is there. Carrie Roberts did not go up a flight of stairs at 6:42. But guess who did? But guess who was coming down? People that were coming up and coming down, none other than the Alberts. The Alberts were coming out at 6:42, going up, down, 6:42. That's when John's phone goes up or down, whatever, a flight of stairs at 6:42. Carrie Roberts didn't go anywhere up a flight of stairs or down. Her ass was outside. Why Carrie Roberts decided to get her pubes twisted in this, I don't know. You'd have to ask her why she wanted to get it all twisted, but she did. She has her ass way up in this shit. And for what? For what? Like, because she's a fucking salty bitch, because she was salty to begin with, and then her salt just keeps on like shedding. But you could see the bias when that girl testified. You know, you should be crying about John and everything like that, and you should just be answering questions like, but you have this like disdain towards Karen, and how can you watch this trial and have any type of disdain towards anybody, because this is a shit show. You shouldn't have any. You should be just a witness, just testifying to whatever it is that you saw or didn't see. These people got way too much, you know. Woo. Especially for your man going and meeting John that night. Ridiculous. Now let's go back and talk about this. How is Proctor going to explain this? How's it going to happen? How's it going to roll? How's Proctor going to say he got this phone? Who's going to say he got it from? Who is Proctor going to say that he got that phone from? These are the fireworks I'm waiting for this week. Okay. I'm waiting to see Proctor testify, because he is. And let's talk about John's phone. When did you get it? What'd you do with it? Did you put it in airplane mode? You know, let's talk about what you did with John's phone. But then when the experts come on, I mean, they're just going to crush it. They're going to crush the fact that y'all want to say data matters in all these cases, but we get to this case and data doesn't matter. Come on now. So Proctor got the phone from the office that Carrie handed it into. Carrie didn't hand the phone into any office, did she? She didn't testify that she handed it into any office. And in fact, Carrie can't fucking remember what she did. And you know what's also funny is that when Carrie was on the stand, ready for this? Carrie's on the stand, and Jen said like, yeah, we all looked at that. We all looked at that light that was all busted up. And then Carrie says, well, I mean, you guys just showed the video, so it can't be that. It had to be at the time that we left. It could have been on the time that we walked in. Well, guess what? That's not there. That video's not there. And they want to say, oh, it was deleted. Well, guess what? We just heard from Buchnick. I don't want to even give him the satisfaction of being the bukkake, but he testified that there was no evidence that Karen Reed's phone nor anybody's phone deleted anything from the Ring camera. In fact, these cheaters, I call them cheaters. You know why? Because they're not just liars. Like lying, they cheated. Where's the activity log of the Ring camera? It was, you want to know what I was told that cops do when they want to be all tricky? You always ask for stuff in a Dropbox. If you ask for stuff in a Dropbox and you don't open it, then you can't get in trouble. When I heard the word Dropbox used in this trial, I said, Jesus, here we go. They did the infamous, so that activity log, where is it? Where's the activity log to show that will show you when somebody did something? It ain't there. Karen didn't delete anything. How do we have 22? You guys are going to hear this number. I think it's like 22 event deletions. Who did that? Who deleted it? Also, please understand this. Jen McCabe is a liar. And so is Carrie. We have Jen McCabe's iWatch numbers. We have her phone numbers. When she said that she went back to John's house that night or that morning, and that she walked into the house after she took off her shoes, and that she went upstairs, and Carrie said that she went upstairs, y'all know that Jen's iWatch that she had on her wrist did not calculate a flight of stairs. You guys understand that, right? Oh, we were the only ones searching. We're the only ones that went anywhere. Bitch, your phone and nor does your watch register you going up any flights of stairs. So think about that. Wait, what do you mean? Yeah, they walked in there. They weren't up. They didn't go there to go up a flight of stairs and look around. Okay, that's just their story. All right, they went there to save time. They went there to stall. Let me ask you a question. If and in fact, Jen McCabe truly saw Karen stroll up in her car, she was parked out there for a little bit, then she saw her a couple times and she left. I just figured that they left. Okay. You would think the next morning when you called me and you told me hysterically all this crap and then you came to my house to be even more hysterical, don't you think that Jen McCabe would have been like, yo, Karen, hold on, calm down. Let me call my sister. Let me call my brother-in-law. We saw you. I swear to God, we saw you guys stroll up there. We just didn't think you guys came in. Let me call them. Let me call my sister. Wouldn't that be your first phone call that you would call if and in fact that's your story? If your story is like, well, no, we saw, what is she talking about? They drove up. They didn't rip the waterfall. Like you drove up there and you just decided to leave. Let me call my sister. Wouldn't that be your first phone call? I have never in my whole entire life gotten to a vehicle when someone didn't come over to my house or wasn't there on time and think that I would just get in my car and go driving around to go do what, where, when, how. What? Where are we going? We're just going to drive around? You guys, nobody does that shit. Nobody says like, I'm going to go and like drive around looking for somebody. I mean, you only do that if like, I mean, are you guys trying to call their phone? Then, oh wait, you said you guys, wouldn't you call your sister? Jen doesn't call her. Jen doesn't call her. Allegedly, right? But I mean, think about that. Think about even if you're on your way heading that way. If you're on your way heading that way, wouldn't you say, hey, can you call your sister? Can you ask her to, I mean, what? Like, it blows my mind to think that nobody has even mentioned that. I would just think the first thing that you would do is, okay, I'm going to call my sister. So we have Carrie Roberts who's saying that she passed off the phone to somebody that was there on scene, which we know is a lie. And this is why she was not cross-examined at the time, because they did not want to blow their load, and they're going to blow it this week. They're going to blow it this week right here. When they're going to ask this chum bucket right here, Trooper Proctor took possession of O'Keefe's cell phone. What's that exhibit? Let's take a look at Exhibit H. Exhibit H. You guys wanted to see some photos that they just showed in court. So this is your trigger warning. So these are the type of photos that they were showing in court, just so you guys know. So okay. You guys remember how like Jen you remember how she said that, like, you know, Life 360 ain't that accurate and stuff like that? She's the one that gave the officers the Life 360 right here. Oh my God, do I have my period? Remember all that crap? Using a cell phone application called Life 360, Jennifer was able to provide the following times. 5:39 a.m., Karen arrived at the McCabe residence. 5:39. 5:46 a.m., Jennifer, Karen, and Carrie arrive at John O'Keefe's house. 5:53 a.m. The three leave. So you guys then realize between 5:46 and 5:53, you should expect to see a flight of stairs that Jen McCabe would have went up to go look for John. It's not there. The three leave and John O'Keefe's house at 6:04. Or I'm sorry, and then at 6:04 they discover John outside. Okay. Who are we gonna take a look at here? We're gonna on the whole map thing. We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna go to. I want to show you guys A B C D E E E. All right, let's see. Oh, is that him? Oh, which one's that? Oh, Albert. B. A. Let's go with these ones. All right, here we go. Oh, see that right there? This is how you know that John didn't go up any flights of stairs before 6:49 either, if he had his, phone on him, which we all knew that he didn't, but there's his bracelet. Well, before we get to the report that has John's phone, I want to point this out to you guys. I don't know if you guys remember, but Higgins, first of all, said that he didn't know who Proctor was. That his associations with between Proctor and Buchnick were Buchnick. Because he knew him and saw him at the gym. He knew him at Hillside, and he had worked and knew him through work. And that he was friendly enough to buy him drinks at the Hillside. Okay, so I want you guys to think about this. I have Higgins' first swipe happening at 9:23, and that's literally when Proctor and Bukaki are going in to Canton together. And so it was like it's very interesting when you look at like, hey, go up there. What's his name's up there? So Brian Albert telling him to go up to Canton. And then what does he do? He shows up. Oh, it's miraculously at the same time. You're telling me that you'd rather be at Canton Police Department than hanging out at Brian and Nicole's and with everybody else. So here, these are the two people that decided to go and talk to Ryan Nagel. Liar. We can get him to lie. The same day that they talked to Ryan, when did they talk to Julie? So. Now, don't you think it's interesting when you see in this report that Ryan told us that Richie stopped the F-150 directly in front of the driveway belonging to 34 Fairview and remembers the black SUV stopping along the right-hand curb. And now you have to understand something. Richie, he was never interviewed, right? Because Richie wasn't going to go along with that, right? Because Richie said that he never waved anybody to go forward. Remember? Because if that was the case, there would be no reason to have a 3-point turn, if you think about it. If they would have actually come down and were facing towards Cedar Crest, that would be the reason to turn around and go back towards them, like towards Chapman. So it's interesting that here somebody mentions a name and they're the actual driver. You don't think that you never interview this dude? They don't interview him until when? Just like right before the murder. I mean, right before the case started, trial. Yeah, pretty crazy. This guy's a fucking liar, though. So we'll just buckle him up as a big old liar. Who's this? Here we go. Huh. Here we go. Let's take a look at that. Ooh. On Saturday, I'm gonna make sure I make this big for you guys. This is the boom moment here. Okay. On Saturday, January 29th, 2022, Trooper Michael Proctor and Sergeant Yuri Booknick of the Norfolk District County District Attorney's Office responded to an unattended death of John O'Keefe at 34 Fairview Road. Through his investigation, it was found that O'Keefe was a victim of a motor vehicle homicide while on scene. Well, while on scene. Now, this is interesting right here. While on scene, Trooper Proctor secured O'Keefe's cell phone and brought it to the Norfolk DA's office for forensic analysis. So, while on scene, so that means Carrie Roberts gave it to Proctor on scene. Carrie Roberts said that she had it. And now she's married to the story. Take that bitch to fucking jail. Get slapped around some more. Again, this is going to be amazing, you guys. I told you, not here for a good time tonight. Not here for a long time. I'm here for tomorrow. This is going to be insane what happens this week. Not only do I think that the Sally Port was obviously flipped and mirrored and blah, 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 but if you go back and you listen to Bukaki's testimony, he was expecting the car to be coming from the other way. I want you guys to go take a look again at the video of the tow truck coming in. I believe that was flipped and mirrored as well, based off of Bukaki's testimony. He was expecting the car to see the car coming from the other way. Again, go and check the part out. It's towards the end of the day when we see the tow truck coming into Canton, into the Sally Port area. Based off of his testimony, if you go and listen, he's expecting that vehicle to be coming the other way. Remember, they're on scene means a lot of different things. Now, actually, all that matters here is this. It matters to note that he didn't note any of the chain of custody. Okay? There's no chain of custody here. While on scene, Trooper Proctor secured O'Keefe's cell phone. Well, and he brought it then to the Norfolk DA's office for forensic analysis. Well, John O'Keefe's cell phone has hella data on it. Everywhere it was walked, everything that was done with it, up, down, blah, blah, blah. It's gonna be lit as a tit. It's gonna be lit as a tit to hear what they want to say about this, because Carrie Roberts is married to it. She said it was after John was picked up off the ground that's when she saw the phone. Then explain to me all of the steps that John's phone took from 6:04 to 6:12, sugar tits, and then from 6:12 until this. You a damn lie. That is a lie. The data tells us otherwise. So why Carrie Roberts wants to lie about this cell phone, you can go and ask Carrie Roberts. But that bitch is going to be back on the stand and she'll be answering to it. That's why they passed on her. They did not want to handle any of this with her right then and there. They want to handle it this week, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to handle it with somebody who testified to the grand jury. Did Carrie Roberts even testify to the grand jury? And I bet you anything that she testified to wasn't even freaking worth any questions, than saying what? Did Carrie Roberts testify to the grand jury that she took the phone? and that she did all of that. Remember Jen McCabe said, she's telling them everything. Everything. And I'm loving it. This is what she was loving. This is the part that she was loving, you guys. She was loving the fact that she was saying that she took the phone. This was what Jen McCabe was loving. She was McDonald's all day. I'm loving it. Over and over and over. This is what she was loving. She was loving the fact that Carrie Roberts said that she took the phone. She's telling them everything. Oh my God, she could like write a book. And I'm loving it. What a sick bitch. Your friend is dead. And she's loving whatever the hell Carrie Roberts has to say. And I'm loving it. What does that even mean? Like, that girl, I don't care that you push a Denali. You have zero class. And I'm loving it. Girl, you wild. Anyways, because Carrie's a talker. Yeah, because I'm just such a talker. She's a sadistic, she's a sociopath, no doubt about it. She might be both. Who cares? Carrie is a talker. I'm a talker. Well, somebody just talked themselves into looking at perjury, baby. Purging over here. But anyways, this is going to be amazing because I can't wait to, he's on the list to testify. He's on the list to testify. All of these people are testifying. And you know they're married to the same story, and we're going to find out what it is. Do I believe that Alan Jackson has something up his sleeve? Absolutely. What do you think Alan Jackson has on that thumb drive? What do you think's on that thumb drive? Let me tell you what I would have done back in the day. If I was in charge of all those like IT cameras and blah, 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 if I was in charge of all that, and this shit went down and it was like big news, like within a couple days, my ass would have went back and saved all those cameras for the whole 24 hours. And then just one day when somebody would ask me about it, sure, here you go. Those cameras that were buried in the Canton community, you guys don't even want to know how much those cameras were buried for. What police officer? I mean, even like a stupid patrol person would know, like, well, preserve it for like the whole day at least. I mean, if not 48 hours. We only want it for an hour. Well, an hour here, then an hour there. I'm telling you, those Canton videos from the businesses. Woo-wee. Someone's got favors for life for those getting buried. So this is what I'm waiting for. This is your bombshell here. The shoes are matching. They're both definitely white. I'll show you guys in the morning. But bigger than that, you guys, where the setup is with those shoes, it's not that they're different. It's the fact that they use the same area of that curb to go ahead and plant it. And that's why Good had to change his picture off of the cover. And that's why Alan Jackson was beating it into our heads as to, wait, you see this picture in this report? And then once on whatever day it was that it changed and now it's this picture, why would the picture change on the report? And they came up with some stupid ass excuse about, oh, we just added pictures to it. We added pictures to it. You guys were off the case then. You guys aren't taking fucking pictures. You guys are off the case. That picture had to be changed because it was the curb showing that there wasn't a fucking shoe. And then you guys are going to use that curb area right there that you spread off with your shoes to show like, this is the curb. Then you put the shoe there after you embedded it with snow, just like you did with the hat. And that's why that picture changed, period. No doubt about it. And that's why I believe that Alan Jackson was beating into the head of the jurors and asking it a bunch of times and making it a big deal about that, about when it changed and why it changed. And he was showing the dates on the reports. And he's going to be bringing that back up. Promise you. And it's, I mean, then it's going to go full circle for the jurors' heads to wrap back around and say, okay. And let me tell you something. Even if it's not true, it's so good enough that it will look true. That's what's amazing about it, is that that's the type of compelling argument that it might not even be true, but it looks that good that therefore you'd be like, damn. Oh, now all of a sudden we just see this shoot. Get out of here. And it's in the same spot as when we were here just a day ago. It wasn't there. It's compelling enough that even if it's not true, good luck, Chuck. I've never seen in all the years I've ever covered a case where somebody has literally brought in evidence and then they said they flipped it or turned it around. I've never heard of it. And so I can't wait. I can't wait to hear how Deb wants to rule on some shit. You're going to let them put in a mirrored and flipped video, but yet you're going to go ahead and try to keep out an expert. Let's see that happen. Please do that on all of our watches. So we're going to see the bombshells with the phone this week, I believe. We're going to see the bombshells with what Alan Jackson has on his little thumb drive. And I promise you, it's something that's good. It's something that's got Bev. She's gonna blow out them bangs. She might have her whole slick back going on tomorrow because she's gonna be blown out. I can tell you that based off of the number of pieces, which I will show you what I have on that. Let me get your pieces here. Let me show you all your pieces. I'm not pulling this out because I don't want them to be able to testify to any type of thing. So I'm waiting until Buchanan gets off the stand. But here you go. Take a look at it. I'll just show you a little piece of it. All right. So this is everything when you want to talk about anything that has to do with the lights, the DNA. These are all like everything that they were when they say like 7-17.41, like all that stuff. So I took all of this and I made it so that everything, whatever's connected, is connected. But guys, the bottom line is that well, there is no log of this. John O'Keefe's baseball hat, which is not listed in the evidence log, but was photographed as an item of the cover. Like, you guys can't make this up. Okay, let me get into this part, which is like, here we go. This is defense request ability to inspect the taillight pieces. We're going to go through all of that, and you guys are going to join me tomorrow for that. So, and I put it all into what connects where. So I think you guys will appreciate it. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. But I think that this is, to me, this is the week that makes or break the jurors giving the Commonwealth anything left. If you have anything left, this is your week. Otherwise, it's over. So what I mean by that is this is your week. You're going to have to explain some things. And if you don't, it's done. Like, Bev said what she said on purpose. She gets to see those jurors every day. She sees like their body language. She's also, trust me, she has ears up in that place in terms of when, trust me, I've never heard of a judge saying, at least, hey guys, so like, I know you guys are all wondering when this is going to be done, and it's going to go until, I'm going to give you guys the case by the end of June. That's a really bold statement. How do you know that? Did you ask Lally and Alan Jackson? Just because Alan Jackson says that he's only going to need a week to do what he needs to do, Lally can't put sentences together. So I'm blown. I am blown. I am blown to hear how Lally thinks, that this is going to be in the hands of the jurors by the end of June. Because you have 3 weeks. How are you saying that? I have no idea how you're saying that. But I feel like they're losing the jury. You're losing me, my jury. They're losing their jury, and they had to kind of give them that. And basically, I think Bev said, like, listen, if you don't put this together, this is your chance. Otherwise, they're done. They're not gonna. This is not a not guilty. This is not guilty. So, Bev has helped that fucking idiot this whole way. Has literally put him on her tit and milked him to the finish line. And good job, Bev. But sorry. This is a frame job for days. This is a frame job from jump. So, but appreciate you guys. I'll be back here tomorrow morning at 8:40. Join me in the AM. And, they're going to be coming with, they got to answer this right here. How does Carrie Roberts, who's not on scene, who doesn't see Proctor, how the fuck does Carrie Roberts get this phone into Proctor's hands? And this all goes to like this, everything's about like the chain. What do we got here? And we got nothing. So we got nothing here. But I can promise you those shoes are the same sole. But the bigger part of that is they were still planted. That shoe was planted, and you need to go back to Alan Jackson and his arguments and what he was trying to show the jurors over and over and over. Why did they switch the picture that was on the cover of that report? It got switched. And the reason that got switched is because it was showing the curb with no shoe. And now all of a sudden we have a picture of John's shoe up against that curb right where that was when it was no shoe. So that shoe was in the house, and then they moved it, in my opinion, and they moved it right to that spot. And then that's why they had to change that picture. So they're black. No, they're white. The bottoms of the shoes are white. White. I can prove that. They are white. 100. But they are white. The bottoms of the shoes are white, both of them. And that's what I'm going to open up with tomorrow to show you guys. Like, also when it's just like anything, when you're taking a picture, depending on if you have a flash on, if you don't have a flash on, but there's a specific angle that they took that proves it. That proves that both of those shoes are white. But the bigger part about it is that, you guys, it's still a plant job, because those idiots were so all about, look at, here's the curve, and we took our foot and then we went like this. We pushed all the snow away. Yep. And you guys took a picture of it. And then you guys had that angle. And then what'd you guys do? And then you planted the shoe right where it was cleared before, where there wasn't a shoe on the 29th. Now there's a shoe when. I mean, it's great. And that's why they had to change that cover page of the report, because it was that obvious. And that's why Alan Jackson was going ham on it. And he's going to bring it back up. Trust me. Because he's going to bring the jurors' brains back to it to say, oh, okay, I got it. But Alan Jackson's got something up his sleeve there with that thumb drive. And I want you guys to go back and take a look at the Canton, the drive up the driveway, with the tow truck. Why would they only think about this? These idiots. Bukkake said he was expecting, before the video showed what was happening, He said where things would be, and they were opposite each other. Go back and check that out. I think they flipped that video as well. And I think that's going to come out. Much love. Peace out, Girl Scouts. See you back here in the morning. Thank you, moderators. Much love. I'm going to give a shout out there. Definitely appreciate all you do. Thank you so much. Truth Seeker, member. Tana, member. Paula, member. Is that Dora? Dara? Member. All right, guys. I'll see you soon. Tomorrow morning. Be here. Be square. I don't give a shit. Just start ringing my bell.